Imagine you are sipping your morning coffee, the one thing keeping you from turning into a feral cave creature, when suddenly you imagine that this might be the last coffee you ever have in your entire life. Instantly, the mediocre supermarket beans taste like liquid gold, the mug feels like a sacred relic, and you are holding it as if it contains the secret of the universe. That, my friend, is the Stoic magic trick called negative visualization, also known by its much more intimidating Latin name, Premeditatio Malorum, which literally means the premeditation of evils. It sounds like a Harry Potter spell that curses your enemies with bad hair days, but it is actually one of the most life-enhancing, mood-boosting psychological techniques ever invented. And the secret is that it works by making you imagine that the good things in your life have been taken away, so that when you realize they have not, you feel ridiculously grateful for them. The ancient Stoics like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius were not sitting around in togas waiting for bad things to happen. They were actively rehearsing those bad things in their minds, not because they enjoyed emotional self-harm, but because they understood one of the greatest truths about human nature, that we adapt to everything. Neuroscientists call it hedonic adaptation, which basically means that your brain is like a spoiled teenager who gets a new phone, loves it for a week, and then goes back to complaining about how slow the Wi-Fi is. If you win the lottery, the happiness boost fades. If you buy a new car, the smell fades. If you move into a dream house, you will eventually start getting annoyed about the neighbor's dog barking at 3 a.m. Our brains are wired to normalize everything, and while that was useful for surviving ancient hardships, it is absolute sabotage when it comes to appreciating our modern blessings. The Stoics knew this long before brain scanners existed, and their hack was to mentally remove what you have, so that when you come back to reality, your brain reacts as if you just got it for the first time. Now this sounds masochistic, but modern psychology backs it up. Studies in affective forecasting show that people are bad at predicting what will make them happy, but they are also bad at noticing what is already making them happy. Experiments have found that people who spend time imagining that they no longer have a person, possession, or ability in their lives report significantly higher levels of gratitude and life satisfaction afterward. Why? Because our emotions are not calibrated by the absolute amount of good in our lives, they are calibrated by the contrast. If you want to feel rich, imagine losing everything. If you want to feel deeply in love, imagine your partner is gone. If you want to feel excited about your dinner, imagine you are eating it in prison, or better yet, imagine you are not eating at all. This works because your brain cannot fully separate imagined loss from actual loss. The emotional brain, the limbic system, responds to vivid mental imagery almost as if it were real. That is why you can cry watching a fictional movie or feel anxious about a meeting that has not happened yet. The Stoics weaponized this quirk of human neurology for good. Now, before you think, great, I will just sit here imagining that all my friends are dead. Remember that this is not about wallowing in misery or becoming a medieval funeral director. It is about briefly, deliberately, and artfully visiting the darker possibilities of life so that you can return to the present with eyes wide open and heart full. Seneca, in his letters, advised that we should practice this daily, saying, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." In other words, if you have already imagined losing something, you are both less shocked if it happens and more grateful while you have it. This is basically emotional insurance and appreciation training rolled into one. So how do you actually do it without spiraling into existential dread? Here is the simple Stoic starter pack. Step 1. Pick something in your life you value deeply. Could be your morning coffee, your health, your job, your partner, your cat, your ability to binge watch 8 hours of television without moving. Step 2. Close your eyes and imagine vividly that this thing is gone. Imagine the empty space where it used to be. Imagine the feelings that come with that loss. Imagine the difficulty of adjusting without it. Step 3. Open your eyes and look at the thing again, or think of it again, and let that rush of relief and gratitude flood in. That is it. No chanting, no incense, no need to buy an expensive Stoic-branded gratitude journal. Just a few minutes of mental subtraction can reset your emotional thermostat. In modern psychology, this is called mental contrasting, a visualization technique used to enhance motivation and appreciation. Athletes do it when they imagine losing before a game, so they play harder. Therapists use it to help clients savor relationships. Neuroscience studies have shown that imagining loss activates the same brain circuits involved in real emotional experiences, which makes the gratitude afterward hit like an espresso shot to your soul. Now, a warning: if you are a catastrophizer, meaning you can take the thought, "What if my Wi-Fi goes down?" and turn it into, "I will die alone in a bunker eating cold beans," you might need to set boundaries with this technique. The Stoics were not trying to make themselves panic. They were training themselves to be emotionally anti-fragile, meaning they would get stronger in the face of adversity rather than weaker. Nassim Nicholas Taleb popularized that term in modern times, but the Stoics lived it 2,000 years ago. By imagining worst-case scenarios, they built a kind of mental muscle memory for resilience. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself every morning that people he met might be selfish, rude, or ignorant, and that life might throw chaos his way, so that when it did, he was already emotionally armored. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that you should rehearse the loss of what you love, not to be cold, but to be ready and appreciative. Now, here is the psychological magic. When you practice negative visualization regularly, you start to notice all the little things that you would otherwise ignore, like the fact that your legs work, that your phone connects you instantly to people you love, that there is food in your fridge, that your friend still texts you memes, that your tap water is drinkable, and that your neighbor's dog, while annoying, is alive and well. You start living like someone who just got their life back after almost losing it, because in your mind, you did, and you do not have to limit it to big things. You can use this for micro-gratitude boosts throughout the day. Imagine your favorite pen runs out of ink, then enjoy it more when you use it. Imagine your favorite hoodie shrinks in the wash, then love it more while it still fits. Imagine your phone falls into a volcano, then be amazed that you are still scrolling. It sounds silly, but the silliness is part of why it works. You take yourself just seriously enough to feel the loss, but not so seriously that you cannot come back to the present smiling. Modern happiness research consistently shows that gratitude is one of the most reliable ways to boost well-being. And unlike some gratitude practices that can feel forced, negative visualization creates a genuine, involuntary wave of thankfulness, because you are not telling yourself to be grateful. You are tricking your brain into rediscovering why something matters. And here is the extra bonus: it also reduces fear. When you have mentally rehearsed losing something, the real possibility of loss becomes less terrifying. This is exposure therapy in philosophical clothing. The unknown becomes the known, and the known becomes less intimidating. You become less clingy, less panicked, more present. You stop treating life like a fragile porcelain teacup you are terrified to drop, and start treating it like a beautiful borrowed mug that you are going to savor while you have it. The big picture here is that negative visualization flips the script on modern life's constant craving for more. Most people chase happiness by adding. The Stoics found it by subtracting, at least in the mind. While everyone else is sprinting after the next thing, you can be quietly enjoying what is already in your hands, not because you settled, but because you realized it was gold all along. So the next time you are feeling bored, restless, or ungrateful, try this. Close your eyes. Imagine losing one good thing you have right now. Open your eyes and welcome back your gratitude like an old friend. The coffee will taste better, the people will seem dearer, and the dog next door might even sound like music. And if it still sounds like barking, well, congratulations, you have just practiced acceptance too. So in the end, the Stoic art of negative visualization is not about living in fear of loss. It is about living more fully because you have remembered that everything is temporary and therefore infinitely precious. You stop sleepwalking through your days and start living like someone who knows that the miracle is already happening. Which is why I will leave you with this thought right now. Imagine that you never get to watch another XQ video again. Imagine that our channel disappears into the digital void. Imagine you are left with only cat compilation videos and 3-hour unboxing clips, and then, when you realize we are still here, hit that subscribe button with the kind of gratitude that would make Marcus Aurelius proud. Leave us a comment about what you would miss most if it vanished tomorrow, and we will see you next time with more fast, funny, genius-level explanations delivered at the speed of laughter.